Hey, what's up everybody, Infinite PC Gaming back again, and today we'll be taking a quick look at if it's worth it to replace the stock TIM on a GTX 1080 Ti Founders Edition in hopes of dropping the temperature. You've seen reviews for this card, you'll see that hitting the thermal limit is pretty much a guaranteed thing. For this test I'll be leaving the fans on automatic for both stock and the aftermarket TIM. I'll also be leaving the clocks for the card at stock settings as well. I'll be using Thermal Grizzly Hydronaut as the replacement TIM. Last but not least, this card will be inside of a Corsair Carbide 240. Alright, so let's take a look at some stock temps while playing some games. In Battlefield 1, I hit a max temp of 85 degrees with the fan speed at a max of 50%. Moving on to Watch Dogs 2, the max temp was 87 degrees, and even though the max fan speed says 100, it's really 50%. In GTA 5, we once again hit 87 degrees with a max fan speed of 60%, which is, I find it kind of a bit odd since Watch Dogs 2 was at the same temps but with a 10% lower fan speed. Lastly, we have Ghost Recon Wildlands hitting again 87 degrees. The max fan speed percentage went up even higher than Watch Dogs 2 and GTA 5 and hit 63%. Now with the stock test done, let's go over how to change the thermal paste in the GTX 1080 Ti Founders Edition. It's an extremely easy process that I feel anyone can do on their own. Besides needing new thermal paste, you only need two tools to get the job done. You need a thin Phillips head screwdriver and a T8 Torx Head bit. And now for the fun part. We'll start off by removing these 4 Phillips head screws that hold the vapor chamber onto the GPU die. Next we'll flip over the GPU and using the T8 Torx Head we'll remove these 2 black screws on the end of the card, one on the top and one on the bottom. Using the same T8 you'll remove these 2 screws by the blower fan. Once that's done, you'll lightly pull up on the left side of the bracket and you can slide the plastic piece off. You might notice I removed the screws for the plastic window. You do not need to do this. I simply removed it for a different reason. So now with the plastic off, we can see the vapor chamber. All you need to do from here is wiggle it just a little bit and pull up. Little pro tip, it's easier to remove the vapor chamber if you had the card running prior to this, since the paste will be heated up. NVIDIA put a generous amount of thermal paste on here, so grab your Q-tips and alcohol and let's start cleaning this mess up. After you get done cleaning your GPU and it's looking all nice and shiny, you can apply your thermal paste of choice. For this video, I'm going to be using Thermal Grizzly Hydronaut paste. Once this is done, we're going to put the vapor chamber back on. Make sure you put it in the correct way, of course. And from here, we'll put the plastic piece back on that we removed. Slide it back in. For the next part, I would recommend to not fully tighten down the screws, simply because the piece might be off a little bit and it'll be blocking up the screw holes. After all the screws are back in, you can go ahead and tighten those down. Then we'll flip it over and reinstall the spring-loaded screws. Again, don't fully tighten down the screws until you have them all in. And when you do tighten them, do it in a crisscross pattern. Alright, so let's see if that new thermal paste has helped out at all. In Battlefield 1, we hit 84 degrees with a fan speed of 50%. Watch Dogs 2 hit 85 with a fan speed again at 50%. GTA 5 hits 84 degrees at again 50% fan speed. And finally, Ghost Recon Wildlands hits 84 degrees, and yeah, you guessed it, with a fan speed of 50%. how does this compare to the stock? Should be pretty easy to tell, but let's take a look at it anyway. In Battlefield 1 at stock, we were sitting at 85 degrees. New thermal paste dropped us down 1 degree to 84. Watch Dogs 2 at stock was 87 degrees. New thermal paste dropped us down 2 degrees to 85. GTA 5 stock hit 87, while the new thermal shaved off 3 degrees down to 84. Last but not least, Ghost Recon Wildlands stock was at 87 degrees, and again we dropped 3 degrees with the new thermal paste sitting at 84. So was the new thermal paste a great success and something you should run out and do for yourself? I'll be honest, I was hoping for a bit more of a temp drop. Yeah, sure, 3 degrees shows that changing thermal paste can affect the temps, but to be honest, I cannot recommend this as like the go-to solution for your thermal problems. However, there is a positive from all this, especially if you don't like hearing the fans. If you notice, with the new thermal paste, the max fan speed never exceeded 50% in my tests. In fact, the biggest changes come from GTA 5 and Ghost Recon Wildlands, where we had a 10% drop for GTA 5 and 13% drop for Ghost Recon. So if fan noise is an issue for you, then maybe perhaps grabbing new thermal paste would be a good and cheap option. Unfortunately, I only have Thermal Grizzly Hydronaut, so I can't compare it with any other paste out there to see if the results would be the same. So I guess you could say your mileage might vary. Alright, so that's going to wrap this one up. It was a quick test with only 4 games, but we did see some positive results from the Switch. Please like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. See you in the next one. Peace.